God, when you look at what's going on in Hollywood, that's filled with pattern recognition. And give you some examples. In the Pirates of the Caribbean, an ABC Disney movie, they're talking about Pirates of the Caribbean. Well, who were the Pirates of the Caribbean? They were the Knights Templars, the pirates, like Disneyland has Pirates of the Caribbean. Well, the Pirates of the Caribbean were the international bankers of today. Their flag.
That's why at Skull and Bones,
that's right.
And this is on record, and at Bohemian Grove, they have Pirates of the Caribbean iconography in Lafitte's name and literally worship the Pirates of the Caribbean. Explain why that is.
That's because first of all, their flag, as you said, is called the Skull and Bones, the Jolly Roger. It's a black flag, and black also symbolizes the planet Saturn. So we're getting into Saturn.
And the Nazis wore black and wore the Skull and Bones.
That's it, exactly. So what we're talking about is an enormous ancient, as you said, ancient system of theology and religion, going back into the demonic world, going back into the ancient pagan world. Is frightening in its implications. But so if you understand, well, you know what, let me give you an example first, that if you have a two-story building and you're going to put a lot of weight on the second floor, the smart thing to do is to go downstairs with a building inspector, get on a ladder, go up and look at the foundation of the floor you're going to build on before you go putting weight on it. So what you're doing is you're standing under the foundation to see if it's going to hold that kind of weight. Now you are standing under to get understanding. So unless you understand how the world works, meaning go down below the surface and see how this stuff really works, not how you thought it worked. And Pirates of the Caribbean is just an example of how they are pushing the idea of the Knights Templar or the international banking elite. Why, for instance, is the Federal Reserve and the Internal Revenue, and remember that word, internal revenue, is telling you something. So why is the Federal Reserve and Internal Revenue headquartered in Puerto Rico? Why? It's because that's where the Pirates of the Caribbean stashed all of their stuff when they were robbing on the high seas.
Look at how the globalists are all offshore in the Caribbean, and exactly look at the IRS symbol. It's a hidden symbol. Somebody thinks it's an eagle. No, with scales, no. It's the Egyptian god there with the scales of life hanging over with its hand, holding it.
Absolutely. You're right. And I'm fascinated with the idea that you understand the complexity of this, because it's very, very big. Another symbol that's very important, the dollar sign, the symbol for money. You know, it's a little S with a line through it. Sometimes it's an S with two lines through it. You know what I'm talking about? The symbol for the dollar symbol. Well, the I going through the S. The I represents insurance, and the S is for scrip. So the IS is insurance scrip. It goes back to the 14th Amendment. It goes back to 1870. It can even go back further when you understand Lorenzo Tonti. Remember that name, Lorenzo Tonti, T-O-N-T-I. Lorenzo Tonti was the man, he was an Italian-born French banker who gave us the conceptual idea of tontine insurance, which is spelled T-O-N-T-I-N-E, insurance, tontine, which was the idea developed in the 1700s with the common banking system, one common banking system for everyone. Therefore, you don't have to worry about individuals having too much power. Everybody does one thing. They bank with the common central bank. That's Tontine, Lorenzo Tonti. And so, obviously, when you have a central bank, you have a common fund, which gives us our word commonism.
It's like it means a master contract, a tontine.
That's it. That's exactly right. And so, once you begin to see how tontine insurance is connected to international banking, the common fund or a central bank, then you take it to the next level, a central bank for the world, for the whole earth. So all of this stuff has been planned a long time ago, as you say. And another classic example in Hollywood for the movies and television shows today dealing with zombies. Why? It's because in America, in North America, and most likely throughout the rest of the world, in all counties, and everybody on the earth is in a county. I don't care where you go on the earth. County level is where where the knowledge of how governments operate is on the county level. Well, in all counties, you have something called zombies. Well, no, wait a minute. Cemetery law. You have something called cemetery law, which in all counties, the land is under cemetery law. And so it doesn't matter if it's commercial or residential. Cemetery law is the law of properties and real estate. And so if you are the only kind of people that are walking around talking in cemeteries and living in cemeteries are zombies. So what Hollywood is trying to tell you and tell the world, all over the world, they're telling you, you are zombies. You're walking around dead. You know nothing. You understand nothing. You've got nothing. What little bit you had were taken from you. Your masters are taken from you.
And by the way, the military, Marines, and soldiers are now taught the public are zombies when they practice mowing everyone down. I just showed mainstream news. So that when they really mow us down, well, we're just zombies. It's dehumanizing an enemy. You have to dehumanize an enemy. So we're being globally taught humans are ugly, gross, bad. Abortions are beautiful. It's like giving birth to kill your baby. Have you seen that new video put out by the Planned Parenthood people?
Oh, God, no.
They go, it's like giving birth. I have a photo of the baby before they chopped it up. Oh, total Satanism, inverting it. It's not real Satanism running around a black cloak and chop up a baby. That's only partial. To say it's beautiful and wonderful like a Hale-Bopp cult member, that is to them true Luciferianism. But go ahead.
Boy, you were absolutely correct. And as I said, this seems to be a worldwide phenomena based on ancient occultism, which can be traced directly back to demonism, devil worship, satanic worship. All of this is, and even when you deal with the word Satan, and it can be traced back to Saturn and Saturnian worship. And, And
tell us about the ancient worshipers of Saturn.
Yeah, Saturn is very, very important because that's another symbol in Hollywood that's in your face. The ancient worshippers of Saturn, Saturn was referred to as the inhibitor. He was Lord of the Rings. Well, of course, Saturn is Lord of the Rings.
And he creates one system to bind everyone into him in the chains. So the rings are the chains, correct?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that's why in the ancient world, women were told to listen to their god, Saturn. So he was Lord of the Rings, so they would wear an ear ring. Men were to get married before their god, so they wear a wedding ring. And now you have pedophile rings, you have political rings, you have a ring of power. And in Hollywood, of course, you have Lord of the Rings. They're telling you something with Lord of the Rings. One of the movies was called Two Towers. You need to understand that there's
that's totally Masonic.
Totally demonic and depravity, and people have no idea in the world how deep this stuff really goes. But you see it. You know, if you're trained to see something, it's very quick to pick it out.
Well, it's like once you know what ancient symbols mean, you can suddenly read the hieroglyphs. But if you don't know, it's a bunch of gibberish. We've learned, how to read their hieroglyphs, and it's everywhere. Their gang signs are everywhere.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. They're banking, educational. Yeah, I mean, even in the ancient Roman Empire, they had a tremendous sewer arrangement. They called the sewer in ancient Rome the system. So, I mean, it's not by chance. We call it an educational system, a governmental system, a banking system. Because it is a sewer. It's a sewer system. It's lies, deception, manipulation.
Let me ask you this. Yep. Everyone comes to the conclusion, whether it's biblical, you name it, that it's an off-world, not of this world system controlling us. And now the science shows that there is an energy field controlling and holding the universe in, that it's basically a hologram. I mean, we're in the middle of space, but when you look at it, you get to the level of understanding that is a spirit. It is a dimensional program that is literally guiding humans as agents to the One Ring. And then we've all been given in the system, whether we want to be part of it or not, our own little rings, our own little cell phones, our own little systems, little microcosms of the larger one, where we are bound to it, to where even if our spirit resonates against it, it doesn't matter. We were brought up within the chains of it.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. And that's why children, when a baby is born, before the baby leaves the hospital, they want to take a print of its feet. You ever seen that, Alex?
That's sent off for collateral on the IMF and World Bank.
That's exactly what it is. So that they are taking your soul. The symbolism is that they own your soul. Your soul's on your feet. So before your feet touch the ground, they have now taken your soul print. And so from there, your body, your very body today is a security on the stock exchange.
5,000-year-old Babylonian symbol, Egyptian, the double helix snake for medicine. You look at 1855, the British royalty publicly funds millions of pounds. At that time, it's like billions today. They said, you will discover the DNA. You will discover the biometrics. They knew the secrets before they'd been developed by science. That's otherworld intelligence, isn't it?
Absolutely, and from there you could go to all of the different temples that are found in the oceans of the world, off the coast of Cuba, off the coast of Okinawa, all of the different temples, as I said, underwater, all of the strange pyramids around the globe, and so all of this implies a higher intelligence has been on this earth for many, many thousands of years that we've never been told, and that there's something very evil coming this way, and it's ultimately to destroy the human race as a such and make the whole human race into some sort of a computerized unit. And I totally agree with you, and I say it again with the assessment that you had before with the young lady when you talked about, well, it's not one, it's many. It's evil, period, on the earth, period. It has nothing to do with one particular group. I have been looking at all of these groups, since 1959. I am partial to looking at the Vatican because behind the Vatican was one of the first corporations on the earth, and it gave to the British the idea of corporations from the corporations in Britain. Called the city, which is a corporation.
Sure, that's openly that's where we get the corporate law that came out of Rome, then into the church, and that's the black nobility.
That's exactly right, and that's why the whole idea today, the way it works, has been refined and mutated so that today you yourself, your wife, and your children are a corporation. You are for instance, if I see you with some girl and I say, Alex, that girl is bad company, and you say, you need to mind your own business. She's going to be my wife. She's going to be my partner. And I'm saying, wait a minute, partner, business, company? You're talking corporation.
Venture.
That's why, yeah, and then so when you die, you're a corpse. Why? Because you're a corporation. And there's that gets into maritime admiralty law and it gets also into the fact that there's two of everything. I ask people, how many states are in the federal union of the United States? And they would tell you 50 if they're smart. Most of them say more than that. But 50 states, no, that's not correct. It's 100 states are in our union because every state is two states. Every state, you have California state or Cal state or New York state.
And that's why they break it into 10 FEMA regions and 10 kingdoms. The UN even uses the Revelation terminology.
That's exactly right. So as I said, it's an incredible development in human history that evil has now dominated the entire planet. And that the method of today lies, deception. But the reason it works so well is because it has, I believe, outside intervention. We have outside help from off-world.
Demonic providence. Stay there, Jordan Maxwell. You're going to have a couple-minute break. After the break, we're going to premiere a special, I don't even know what to call it, mini-film from They Live 2014. And then in mere minutes after it airs here, it's going to go up on Infowars.com. Very powerful tool to get people to come out of the matrix to wake up with Rowdy Piper. So we'll be back after the break. a few-minute clip, and then back to Jordan Maxwell. Stay with us.
We're on the march.